Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is KJ Ricardo. Today's episode is a classic film review. I do movie reviews once a month, and this month's review is on An Affair to Remember. This is a great classic romantic film, so let's get started on this review with a basic synopsis. This film stars Cary Grant and Deborah Kerr. Their chemistry is really great. They work really well together. Cary Grant plays Nicky Ferranti. He's a bachelor. He's supposed to be getting married to someone. He's very rich, very well-to-do in society. Everyone is interested in his love life. He's kind of like a James Bond type of character. Deborah Kerr plays Terry McKay, and she's also very well-to-do. She's supposed to be marrying someone else, and this movie takes place at the beginning on a cruise ship. This setting alone is destined for romance. It's a very romantic setting. They meet each other on this cruise ship, and they don't really like each other at first, but they keep bumping into each other. They learn more about each other, and they start to feel romantic feelings for each other. This film has some comedy in it where they always seem to run into each other on the cruise ship, which is very comedic. Eventually, they can't deny that they have feelings for each other. They start to fall in love. At one point in the film, Nicky takes Terry to visit his grandmother. They leave the cruise ship to go visit his grandmother's place. This is a nice scene. We get to learn more about Nicky, but we also get to learn more about Terry. Terry learns more about Nicky, which is very important. I can see why this scene is important because they learn more about each other. They fall in love with each other more. But overall, this scene dragged on a little bit. This whole part of the movie dragged on. It was really slow paced. Getting back to the cruise ship, that's what I wanted. I wanted to go back to the cruise ship. That's where they fell in love, and their romance really picked up from there on. They confess that they love each other. They know in their hearts that they are meant for each other and that they don't want to get married to their significant others. They want to get married to each other. And I really liked this. I loved seeing the slow burn, the development between the two. They arrive back in New York, and Nicky says, "Give me 6 months. I want to start my career as a painter. Let's meet at the Empire State Building in 6 months and get married." So they go off on their own ways, and they have the agreement that they're going to meet each other in 6 months. We see them with their other significant others, and there's obviously a different feeling. You know they're not in love with their significant others. And 6 months comes along. Nicky is there at the top of the Empire State Building. He's waiting for Terry to come join him. And she is there. She has arrived. And I'm not going to spoil what happens, but something happens and she doesn't make it to the Empire State Building. And so Nicky is there and he feels like rejected, abandoned. She doesn't want to marry him. And so he leaves, not really knowing the truth about what happened. Eventually, they see each other at a theater show, and the chemistry is right there again. And of course, we know because this is a romantic comedy from the 1950s. This movie came out in 1957. We know that they're going to end up together because that's what viewers wanted in the 50s. We knew that these people were destined to get together, and that's exactly what happened. So what did I like about this film? I enjoyed many aspects about this movie. First, the relationship, the romance. I enjoyed that it all took place on a cruise ship, a very special setting, very romantic setting, and I enjoyed seeing the slow burn of their relationship. They didn't always love each other. It took some time for that to develop. I also enjoyed how they made their arrangement that we'll see each other in 6 months, take care of our business and our our current affairs and then we'll get married in 6 months. And of course, it doesn't work out. There's a very unexpected plot twist. I was not expecting the situation that happened to Terry. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You have to watch it yourself. I wasn't expecting that. Cary Grant was also fantastic in this film. It's probably one of his best performances. He did a great job. He was almost like a James Bond type of character, a very sophisticated bachelor man, but he was also very convincing that he was in love with Terry. So his performance was great, as well as Deborah Kerr. This is the first film I've ever seen with her, and I'm interested in watching some more movies with her. She was very flawless, very sophisticated, glamorous. She sang a couple songs in the film, and she was just very talented. There was some comedy in this film. It's a romantic comedy. I thought it was very funny that there were some scenes where they tried to stay away from each other on the cruise ship, but they always wound up back together. The dialogue in this film was really well done. The writing of this film was great. There was one line in particular that I really enjoyed that had some double meaning to it, where it said, "We're heading into rough sea." And the person said, "I know, we changed our course today." That's so poetic. This film also had great visuals. The scenery of this film was so beautiful, and the shots, the cinematography of this film was just very gorgeous, very well done, especially with the cruise ship and everything. This was a really pretty movie to watch. I loved the relationship between Terry and Nikki. I think that's probably my favorite thing about this movie, is that their relationship just really worked and that it evolved over time. It was nice to see the evolution of Nikki and Terry's romance. And eventually they got together in the end, because that's what you want from a movie like this. That's what you want because you invested so much time in these characters, so you want them to end up together, but you don't have to worry about that with this film because they definitely did. Overall, there was only one complaint I had about this movie, and that was with the pacing of the film. There were some scenes that dragged a bit, and especially with the whole part in the film where we met Nikki's grandmother. While that scene was good and important, it just dragged on really long. And then there were some other scenes when they got back to New York that were just way too long. They could have been cut for timing. I definitely think they should have. But overall, I'm giving this movie an 8 out of 10 rating, a B, solid B grade. Now this film, I enjoyed watching the relationship between Nikki and Terry and just seeing that evolve. That was what I loved about this film, and so I was more interested in that. And I think Deborah Kerr and Cary Grant had great chemistry. They worked really well together, and overall this was a great film. And so I would recommend this to anyone who loves classic romance films. If you have watched An Affair to Remember, let me know your thoughts on the film. Please leave that in a comment and I'll be happy to read that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next month with another review. And remember to always laugh often.